my sister, who's she's a wonderful nerd. She's like, hey, don't forget to celebrate May the 5th. I was like, May the 5th?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I mean, thinking of May, she goes, no. Revenge of the 5th.
Oh, clever. Clever.
May the 4th is May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
So May the 5th is Revenge of the 5th. So I got shirts made. I'm going to pick those up today.
Okay. I can dig that. All right. Good morning. Good morning. We are live on the morning show. And we're doing things just a little bit different. Sorry, my voice is shot. Yesterday was a great day at the church. So we're live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, maybe Instagram. I don't know. I'm just trying this out. Maybe somebody could text me if they see me on Instagram. We're just trying that out. We're also live on TikTok. Good morning, people. And, of course, we have Clubhouse going. And what I'm actually doing today is I'm not in the studio setup. I'm just in my kitchen on a couple different devices. But that being said, TikTok, you should be able to hear everything that's going on in the Clubhouse panel. And the iPad, you should be able to see stuff too. Not completely sure. Like I said, we're just trying this out, see what happens. But all good stuff, just getting the day started. That's what we do on the morning show, is we literally just kickstart our day like this. And it's been really awesome how we've been able to do this. I love the conversations we get into. I love the things that I learn from each and every one of you. And whether you're just watching or maybe you leave a comment, whatever that looks like, I love it. It's been really, really fun. So this morning on Clubhouse, I've got Kayla McCool. What's up, Kayla McCool?
Good morning. I am just trying to cook breakfast before the storm knocks out the electricity.
Right. Well, you guys keep that over there in West Tennessee / Arkansas. We don't want it in Middle Tennessee. We're done with it.
Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring, Jason.
Well, we don't want it, okay? That's all I'm saying. That is no good. Good morning. Good morning. We got Becky on TikTok. Good morning to you, Becky. Hope you're doing great. So here's what I want to pose a question. I've been thinking about something this morning, Kayla. Number one, let me say this. I think Lucian maybe said something about it in our Telegram group, but did you know today, or not today, but this month, is National Recommitment Month?
No, I had no clue.
Oh my gosh.
National Recommitment Month?
National Recommitment Month. And Lucian told me that yesterday in the green room before church, and I was like, dude, are you kidding me? Because I told him, I said, just to be honest with you, we've only got 2 more days. Matter of fact, Lucian just hopped on. So did Brooklyn. What's up, Brooklyn? Good morning to you.
What up, guys?
So you guys actually came just in time. I'm literally just setting up the conversation. So here's the deal. It's National Recommitment Month. Lucian told me about it yesterday. It got me kind of excited because the truth is we're on the tail end of our 30-day. Like, this is 29. Tomorrow will be the last day. But I have found myself over the past week really kind of like, ooh, I feel myself, it's diminishing intent, right? My intentions are diminishing, but which is fine. That's why we're going to have a rest, and we're actually going to have a great time putting together a Zoom call to learn what everyone experienced for the 30 days. But here's what came to me, okay? Because I was really excited about the idea of a National Recommitment Month, because I think it's important to have those little moments that just bring you back, into awareness. And what happened for me this morning, it started really last night. Last night I made up in my mind, okay, Jason, when you started this program, when you started doing this deal, you said that you were going to show up to the gym every day, 4 a.m. And for the most part, like, nailed it. Like I said, the past week and a half, kind of fell off, which is fine. There's no judgment at all. But I did notice that I was not my best self Okay. And me and Brittany actually had a conversation about this. I wasn't my best self. And really and truly, it was because I wasn't doing the things that I know I was capable of. Like, in other words, I was kind of below my potential, even though, again, not, things happen and I'm fine with that. But this morning I made a decision. I'm going to the gym. I'm getting there at 4, whatever. And it dawned on me today. It dawned on me that I can actually feel, like emotionally feel, whether or not I am committed. Now, I didn't used to be able to do that. And I've kind of talked about this, like it's one of those, I kid with some of the, like Brooklyn can testify to this. I'll mess with the kids, like when they'll say, yeah, I'll try to do that. I'll be like, trying is
lying.
I knew she would know it. Trying is lying, because what happens is, right, when you say I'm trying, is I'm leaving myself an out, right? Like, oh, I'm going to try that, but really, I'm not. I didn't tell you I would. I just said I maybe should. So this morning, I emotionally felt committed. And that's, I don't know if y'all have ever experienced that. I don't know if that like lands with you, resonates with you, but it was like, whoa, I think I've discovered something about myself that I didn't realize, that a commitment that actually sticks, it kind of has a feeling attached to it. And so I'm kind of laying this out much longer than I would normally, but like I want y'all's feedback. Like does that make sense? Do you guys know when you're really committed? Like there's times where you're saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do it, but really in the back of your mind, you really know it's not. But like there are other times where it's like, man, it's in the zone, and I really did say I'm doing this, and there's an emotional commitment to where like it pulls you into that. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to anybody?
100%. I totally feel on that too, because like you had said, I knew I could be doing more. I knew I wasn't really trying as much as I should have, and it was discouraging me. You started losing confidence because you stopped doing the things that made you gain self-confidence. I totally relate to that. It's like I had committed to going to the gym. It was one of those, you commit going to the gym every single day of your life. And I haven't been going in the morning. I've been going in the evenings, still getting work done, but it's something that's in the morning for me. So not doing that made me I didn't feel as good. I didn't start my day off as good. I started getting behind in some things. So this morning, I was finally like, all right, we're showing up, So
yeah,
I'm like,
sure.
I got to the gym. I get to the gym, I'm like, it's National Recommitment Month. It's National Runners Month. I'm going to do something that I think is important. I'm going to start, whatever I'm doing right now, I'm going to 10x that. I'm going to see how much harder I can put, how further I can go, just by doing something that gave me a little bit of confidence. Reinstituting those commitments, reminding myself why I started, my why. It changed the game for me. But yeah, you're hitting hard on that for me, Jay.
I was about to hit the phone so you could hear the thunk.
Did get you a sampler pad with sound effects.
I do, man. You know what, Lucian? I'm trying something a little bit different, and I might want to connect with you here in the future, because obviously our lives are about to get a little crazy. So I'm preparing myself not to be in the studio.
Yeah.
So like
Who's the new host?
Yeah.
Who's the new host on there?
This is crazy. So right now I've got my iPad and I've got both my phones, which, by the way, TikTok for the very first time can actually hear you all. But like I was looking at some videos of how to maybe get like even though I know that mixer should work, but maybe something that's a little more easier to pull everything into this, iPad and stuff. But that's another conversation. By the way, if y'all don't know this, y'all, I'm asking Lucian because Lucian is an audio extraordinaire. It's he's amazing. So if you ever know somebody that needs some help, some advice with audio gear, not only is you're still a reseller, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And he makes, let me tell you something. Kayla brought it up earlier, talking about May 4th, celebrating May 4th. And apparently I did not know about May 5th. Okay. But Lucian, you've actually designed a lot and built the audio desks that like Lucas film or what's his company? George Lucas's company?
Skywalker Sound.
Skywalker Sound. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the Force is strong
But
with
now,
this one.
But now that was the old Star Wars. Now I'm in the middle. These next 2 days, I'm shipping a massive project we did for J.J. Abrams, which is the new Star Wars director.
Right? Get them all. Just get them all, man.
I have decided that on
To follow
May the
Jesus.
4th,
Oh,
on
sorry.
Jesus, yep. I've decided that on May the 4th, I will be wearing my Star Trek T-shirt just to irritate the people.
It is blasphemy.
Well, here's the
Why
thing.
would you do
I've never
that?
seen Star Wars. Never in my life. So I can't have an opinion on which
Well,
one's
that's
better.
your problem, not ours.
That's your problem. I feel like Star Wars is probably is better, but I don't know.
Oh,
No, there's neither one are better. I love both. I
like your
personally
perspective,
love
Caleb.
both.
that's so funny.
But I had, the kids don't know yet because Davis doesn't watch because he's so young. He's not allowed to watch the real stuff. We
Oh, yeah.
watch all the Lego
Ah,
Star Wars
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And he loves it. He loves it. So being the mom I am, and you know where I'm
The
kind of
mom.
special. I got a local woman that does amazing work. I got her to do some Jedi in Training shirts
Oh,
for
cool.
Davis and Evie. And
Clever.
then I got Jedi Mom and I got Billy Jedi Master, and we can wear them for, like I said, for May the 4th, because you know what, May the 4th be with you. And then you have Revenge of the Fifth.
Yes, I never heard of that one.
For Revenge of the Sith. My sister told me about that one.
Ah, I'm probably going to be eating tacos, so.
See, senor.
I love it. Okay. So, anyways, anybody else got some comments on, what's your thoughts about the feeling of commitment? Like, is that bizarre? Am I just thinking up something hokey? Brooklyn seems to think that it's not. She kind of agrees, but what's everyone else
I'm
think?
all inspired. I'm about to
Feeling
go run some
inspired.
miles, son.
Get it done, hun. Get it done. By the way, Martin, good morning to you, Martinez.
I think that you are on spot. Sorry, Martinez, I didn't mean to talk over you. I apologize.
No, sorry. What'd you say, Kayla?
Well, I think you're right about recommitment, and I'm one of those Jesus people. I'm sorry, but how do you feel when you feel like when your relationship with God hasn't been the best, and maybe you've fallen back on a couple of things that you've promised yourself that you would do for God, and it doesn't take a whole bunch of, you don't have to go out and do all the things, commit all the things to feel the difference. To feel that refreshing recommitment to God.
Sure.
I love that, Kayla. I absolutely love that. Because, as you were talking, this kind of just I always knew it, but things just click. It's National Recommitment Month. This should be an everyday thing. Every single morning, every single hour of your life, you should constantly be recommitting yourself. Every time you do something that is benefiting yourself and getting you closer to your goals, you're recommitting to those goals and you're recommitting to why you started. And I love how you make it spiritual, because no matter what I do for health and fitness, and no matter what I do for my personal physical being, I can tell the difference so much more in my spirituality when I'm doing those things that supports it. When I'm reading my Bible, when I'm praying, when I'm getting closer to God, it all around, because I'm not the same person when I just do just do health and fitness. That starts to fall apart if I don't have my spiritual relationship with God and that in check. So keeping that in tune and reminding yourself, those goals are great. Those goals are awesome to have. Everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to be healthier. And those are incredible goals that you need, because your body's a temple and you need to take care of that. But keep in mind the spiritual goals,
Yeah.
that relationship with God. Keep those in mind, because that's what ultimately matters. That's why we're living. You know what I mean? So I love that, Kayla. You were spot on.
Sorry, I'm responding
Something
to.
Well, about
Oh, go ahead, Lucia. I apologize.
I'm sorry. I read something that just, and I'm like, man, that is so fitting where we're at. We're at day 29, tomorrow's day 30. This was a challenge. And so we've been motivating each other. And so motivation is what gets you started. Commitment is what keeps you going. So now we're committed to this thing. And that's where we're at with this thing is, hey, we're in this. We're committed to it. And that goes with anything. Relationships, your job, your walk with God, your ministry. If you don't have commitment, if you don't put the work in, don't expect others to invest into you and what you're motivated about if you're not committed to doing the work yourself and to what your dreams are and goals are. It's going to take work, but man, y'all got to watch that video I posted this morning in Telegram, Facebook. It just, man.
Oh, yeah.
I will start running tomorrow to that video. It's TD Jakes.
Oh, okay.
And, oh my Lord, it's all about commitment. And so, Lord have mercy, it messed me up. I was like,
oh, dude, that's awesome.
On the way to work, listen to it.
Right. Well, I gotta watch that, man. I love it. I love it.
He uses the quote, "Greatness is never on sale."
I love that. That's so good.
So stop discounting yourself.
Oh.
You got to pay the price.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't give people discounts what Jesus paid in full, by God.
My God, son. Martinez is quiet this morning.
It's probably because he's not here.
Very quiet.
He's very quiet.
Very quiet.
It's interesting. We miss old brother Martin. Yeah.
Lucian's our quote guy.
Yeah.
It's like every time I'm on here, he always just gives the best, like, it's a timely quote too. It's a quote when you really need it,
Oh,
it's funny
absolutely.
you say that because I was going to go through my books when I was dating Nikki. When I first started dating Nikki, this is back in the AOL days of AIM. I bought prepaid AOL cards to instant message Nikki. That way it gave me so many minutes to talk to Nikki on instant messenger because we lived about an hour and a half from each other. But I had bought this. It was called a thesaurus of quotations. You could look up a topic, a word in this thesaurus. It was a massive book, and it was nothing but quotations. Ever since then, I love quotes.
Yeah.
I'm just, you can quote me on that.
He's got quotes and jokes. Quotes and jokes. I love it. I love it. You know what? I think for me, it's interesting because Kelly, you did bring that up about your walk with God, and I've finally been able to dive into that reference that we were talking about last week, the 2 Peter 1:5-10, where there's that list of things that Simon Peter, Apostle Peter, he's like, listen, add these things to your faith. The first one was is virtue, which actually meant excellence. And I'm reading a very interesting commentary that's talking about, kind of giving his opinion about how he was giving that list that builds upon itself to kind of help relate to them in kind of a stoic culture, so to speak, but making differentiation in it. And what I mean by that is, so for instance, he talked about the excellence, which is living your life with great character, in all that you do, because as you do that, it leads to the next one, which is knowledge. And in that knowledge, what it is it is, as you do more, you learn more, about Christ. It leads you into that knowledge of him. And he said that was kind of the distinguisher is the building up of knowledge and the learning. And you can even kind of hear Paul talking about this in the pastoral epistles. He's like, look, knowledge, in itself is no good if you're not applying those actions, and you're not, it's not leading you to a greater knowledge of Jesus Christ. Because, and that's what again, going back to Paul was like, look, man, there's people, man, they just keep learning, and they get nowhere with it. They're just obsessed with knowing instead of the actual understanding, which is kind of what Bill was preaching about, 2 weeks ago, about, hey, look, start with knowledge, right? Get to wisdom, but understanding, taking that, applying that. And so it's been very interesting for me that, like what you guys are saying, how it leads you back to, again, your faith. It's leading you back to your faith, greater knowledge. And so, like, for me, one thing that I would say about this morning that's very interesting, as far as my emotional state, and again, I think maybe this is the what I'm trying to grasp is, this morning I had great certainty, very much, like, and that's kind of that idea behind how I feel when I'm committed. I'm certain. I have a certainty that, number one, I will do it, because number two, I've made up my, like, I don't know. It's anybody kind of, does that make sense to you? That feeling of certainty?
Absolutely.
Because I know what I'm not. We'll talk, hey, you going to do this? I don't know. Ask me tomorrow.
When you have that lack of commitment, you start justifying your excuses.
Yes, because
That's so right.
because human nature, we're geared this way. Nobody wants to be wrong, right? I don't want to be wrong. So the easiest way to not be wrong is make other things wrong. So, that's where the excuse is the alibi to not make me wrong, but to make other things wrong. And again, I'm not saying that makes you whatever. I'm just simply saying, I think again, it goes back to understanding, that flesh that you're in, that human body that you are combating. And it takes all of these elements to, because that's the other thing I talked about. I think after knowledge, it goes to self-control in that list. I think that's about as far as I've gotten in that commentary. But that idea of being able to submit yourself, the commitment of submitment. I don't know. We could figure out some kind of word there. But I don't know, man. It just got me really thinking this morning about, like I said, that feeling of commitment. By the way, if anybody is on Facebook or any of those platforms, feel free to hit us up. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys have any comments to that, or if you'd like to be pulled into the show, we can make that happen.
I don't know what our month is going to entail with this challenge ending with these conversations and the daily conversations, Clubhouse and Facebook Live. I know we're fixing to go to a busy season, but we could spend a lot of time on this month of commitment. There's a lot of areas you can go into it.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people's problems, why they don't want to be held accountable, is because they're not committed. And so if they're not committed, they don't want to be held accountable for their actions or their lack of a commitment, because
right.
They don't want to be honest with themselves. And so then we start dealing with pride. Then we start making excuses. Then we start, if I snowball all the last few years that I've just didn't take care of my body, wasn't living a healthier life for my family, not just for me, but my family's sake. it's commitment is work. No
Yeah.
matter in what area, commitment is work. And that's one thing this thing has been so motivating with is having this group that keeps you accountable.
Mhm.
I got in late last night. It was a hectic weekend, very busy weekend. I could have, if I didn't have a phone call, if I didn't have a group text that was holding me accountable, say, hey, are you coming? Come on, it just when you hold yourself accountable, and gosh, let us not go back to Pastor's message yesterday on making room for ministry. You could go there. So with commitment and having that accountability in our lives is just, it's crucial. Even with your spouse, I encourage everybody to take a look at recommitment. Oh, and I heard that, y'all. I'm sorry. This is, I guess, I've got a talking spirit on me this morning.
Bring it, man. I'm loving this. I'm listening in.
I heard Benny Hinn, of all people, say something that messed me up. He said, if you want the anointing, you have to get rid of everything in your life that has no value.
Wow.
I was like, oh my gosh. He said, things that mean nothing in this life, get rid of it.
Yeah.
And I've heard him talk about that before because he was a huge historian. He loved studying history until he got to a point in God. He said, what does knowing history going to do me in this life? And so he just delved more into his ministry and the word. He said, you have to get into the word. And he said, get rid of everything that has no value in your life.
That's good.
Oh,
That's
man.
Yeah.
Talk about recommitment.
Well, let me tell you something. I wrote 2 words in my journal Sunday that has, I wrote a lot, but the 2 words at the very beginning when Pastor was setting that up and he was giving that analogy about, the storage and all of that.
Yes.
He gave us 1 word, but the other one came to me. He said, you've got to think about expansion, which I'm like, dude, but let me tell you something. I think alongside expansion, you have to think about elimination. What we were talking about, purging, and it's like,
purging.
Like I don't think it's one. I think it's both. I think you have to create that massive margin by expanding for more, but eliminating what is, like you just said. Like, I love that. If it has no value in your life, I kind of have this rule. I can't follow this rule, but this is how I feel. If I've not used it in 90 to 180 days, it's gone. There's no value to me. I'm just, apparently I have, and I'm not saying like there's some things you keep for survival, emergency, but I'm saying like an active thing, like clothes. Man, I've got so much clothes, or so many clothes right now. I wear the same thing over, and these other things just sit there. I just need to get rid of them. Be done with it. I can't even wear some of it anymore. What am I waiting for?
That's so good on so many levels, because if you don't get rid of those toxic things in your life, it's going to hurt you, but it keeps you from your goal. It keeps you from your calling. It keeps you from your purpose. When you keep those things in your life, why people stay in toxic relationships and bad abusive relationships, there's several things into that, but if you don't get rid of those things, it keeps you. It doesn't matter how committed you think you are. Are you really committed if you keep those things? Mm-hmm. Ask yourself that. That's so good, guys.
Lay aside every weight and sin. That which is neutral, but that which is also like, it's all of it.
I'm trying to beset the weight, Jason.
We're doing this thing, man. It's staying with me a little more than I'd like right now.
That's actually funny you say that, because me and Preston were in the car, and I'll do gym thoughts and run thoughts with Brooke, and so I had Preston do gym thoughts with me, and he's helping me say some of the encouraging words. And go watch it, because it's funny. I go, show up, keep promises to yourself, keep those commitments, show up every single day. And he goes, you should probably lose some weight too.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
We lost it.
Should probably lose some weight too there, buddy. I love it. I love it. Well, guys, it's 7:32. This has been a really fun time, and I appreciate you guys, creating value by having this conversation. This is kind of one of those. Was it the TED Talk conversation? It's ideas worth sharing. Well, these are conversations worth having, and I appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. And I want you guys to have an amazing day. Be blessed. Be great. And we'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow, last day. Don't get me wrong. We still have today to live. But tomorrow is the last day of 30 days of challenging ourselves with health and fitness. And it's amazing because if you do one thing well, everything else seems to follow behind that. So I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, have a great day.